With the release of the Battlefield 5 reveal trailer, DICE has sent the community into quite a divisive whirlwind. The knee-jerk reaction of a lot of the community was quite negative. A lot of you were expecting something quite like Saving Private Ryan or Band of Brothers, but instead, we appear to have gotten something just a little bit different from what we were expecting. Now, I loved the trailer due to its graphical and audio brilliance, but I'm not going to praise DICE for this trailer because in all other areas of the presentation, the trailer was actually quite bad, and it was a trailer that left us with a lot more questions than answers. Mainly, what is the girl with the prosthetic arm doing in a World War II Battlefield game? I jest, of course, but the real downfall in the trailer is that the game gave us an abundance of information, but they did it all in the wrong way, or not at all. Videos like the one Jack Frags posted the other night after the trailer went live explained out the core mechanics of the game, and to his credit, along with the other big YouTubers and Battlefield game changers, got the fan base on board with Battlefield 5. A deep and rich progression system, no health regeneration, new fortifications and destruction mechanics, new health and ammo systems and animations, and character/company customization like we've never seen before. But out of all these questions people seem to have from the trailer, the biggest one that comes to mind for me is, who is this game really for? I said yesterday in my 5 biggest takeaways video, which if you haven't watched yet, you totally should, that I had a few concerns that I was going to dedicate a separate video to, but I realized after a while that all my concerns stemmed from the same concern, and that concern is that I fear DICE is trying to do too much with Battlefield 5, and as an experienced Battlefield player, I know that when DICE gets distracted with something, it normally doesn't turn out so good. Which is why I get concerned when there are talks of DICE considering a Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 5. I personally would rather have DICE perfect the core game of Battlefield 5 than have them waste time on a Battle Royale mode, but the fact that DICE is even considering this hints at Battlefield 5's biggest question, which, as I said, who is this game for? The blanket statement I've been alluding to is that this game is for everyone, but again, that scares me because when DICE tries to please everybody, you get a casual monstrosity like Battlefield 1. But that being said, it looks like DICE is trying to make some real innovations with this game, and these innovations, more or less, attempt to go back to the roots of Battlefield gameplay, which is team-oriented FPS action. But the thing is that these changes to the Battlefield system are changes that have not been seen before, not to Battlefield 1 players, and not to veteran players either. Things like the new revive system, new ammo and health regeneration, squad upgrades, fortifications, that all screams team play and veteran Battlefield experiences to me, but this is on a completely untouched new scale that will be really interesting to see how it plays out. And of course, the franchise will be returning to a predictive recoil pattern system instead of the random spread that was in Battlefield 1. But, of course, the other side of the spectrum, there is overhauled character customization, which isn't inherently bad at all, but so far it has kind of divided the community thus far on what is acceptable and unacceptable character customization. In addition to that, the trailer gave off a very cartoonish and over-the-top World War II setting that thus far hasn't really seemed like authentic World War II, and this is before we have seen any gameplay, mind you, so this point may be irrelevant in a few weeks' time, but DICE has really shown a gesture to the casual community of players that swarmed Battlefield 1 by making the easiest and most logical step to World War II, and not going back to the modern shooters that the series has most recently been known for. On top of that, the trailer really gave this community a sense of arcade-esque, over-the-top, casual action that really, though a lot of interested players have returned, it kind of threw them off. And I really feel like DICE is riding a fence here, knowing that these new gameplay changes are not casual friendly, but yet they are trying to offer a casual experience to those who want one. And there is a fear that all of these new animations, such as sliding on people's backs, can be abused just as a lot of Battlefield 1's mechanics were abused in some capacity. And for that, I think that we just need to trust DICE to make a balanced game, but this does not exactly excuse the fact that DICE needs to find an identity with this game, and I'm not saying it has to be one or the other. It can be both, but DICE really needs to do a good job with how they implement and expand on all these new features that they've teased, and most importantly, not have a Battle Royale mode. Unfortunately, we are kind of left in the dark to overanalyze this trailer until about 2 weeks' time at EA Play, where the actual multiplayer will be revealed, but I do kind of just want to touch on one of the main, I guess, spots of criticism in that trailer, and this is kind of a trigger warning for those of you who are kind of upset by this stuff, but the political stance in 2018 has a lot of feminism and a lot of, I guess, gender issues that can show up in character customization, and I really want to emphasize that this really should not matter. I understand that people are upset that women were so prevalent in this trailer, even though necessarily, yes, they were not on the front lines, they were working in factories with the war effort, but what DICE has done here is, in this trailer, they were really just showing off all the potential options that you can have when customizing your character, and this is not a sure thing, and I think some people are missing that. Trailers are supposed to reveal things to you and supposed to show things to you, certain possibilities that you can have in-game, and that's really what DICE has done here. This isn't an assurance, as I've said. But people are still upset because there is this woman with a prosthetic arm, which prosthetic arms were a real thing. There are pictures of full prosthetic arms that were made for World War II. But I think people are really blowing that portion of the trailer out of proportion, and I think that it really doesn't matter. People were saying the same thing about a woman announcer voice in Battlefield 1. They were saying the same thing about blacks being the scout class with the German Empire. And as soon as the game launched, people really didn't give two craps about it. So I think that overall it's a mute point, it's an irrelevant point, and it's a point that really shouldn't even be glossed over. I feel like I shouldn't have to talk about this, because at the end of the day, video games are a creative entity. They are art. And I think that DICE has made actually a really smart move with kind of diverging from Call of Duty World War II's mistakes by making a World War II game that is not necessarily truly authentic, but it is a little bit into left field for that exact reason. I don't blame DICE whatsoever for trying to make a World War II game that this world has never seen before. But like I've been saying, this game needs to find an identity to make sure that those goals that DICE has doesn't get lost out in trying to please everybody. If you like this video, make sure you drop a like on it. I want to thank you all for watching this video, for clicking on it. If you are new around here, subscribe and make sure you turn on post notifications to where I'm not going to have to talk in such a monotone and straightforward tone. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Sticker Catalyst, and I will see you all another time.